Alec, how's it going?
Hey, it's going pretty well. Going.
October is over.
It is. It's been over about a week.
Yeah, so we're gonna break down everything in October, and by that we mean only things we've seen in October. Doesn't have to be news, just whatever we. It's gaming, TV, film.
Yep.
But we're gonna do a speed run. We're not even gonna talk about anything. No. Uh,
Speedrun, we're just going through it. Thanks for
just
watching.
list. We're gonna just list things. Now, what do you want to start with? Gaming, television, film.
Gaming, I don't really have a lot to talk about.
All right, let's go.
Okay, well, I've been playing pretty much the same stuff I always have. I played Jen's Challenge stuff, which you can watch our video down in the description. It won't be in the
What?
description.
It's not
It'll
gonna
be
be in
on
the
our channel.
description.
You can just click on the channel and you can find our Jen's Challenge. The Retro Gents Challenge. So I've been playing those games. Been playing game. I don't know. You have to find and see how well I've been doing at that.
Apparently not game.
No, I actually. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say.
Spoilers, yeah.
So I'm playing that. Doing Gents Challenge stuff. Persona 5 still. I'm finally nearing the end. I'm like 115 hours in. And
Yes.
some of that time isn't accurate. There have been plenty of times where I've left the controller on, I've gone and done something else, and I've come back to it, and it's console still on, and then I was like, oh, okay. So that time is not the most accurate. It's probably closer to like maybe 100, um, yeah. So there's that. Pretty much it, honestly. I finished off Link's Awakening. I think I finished that in October. Spectacular game. Definitely recommend it if you haven't played Link's Awakening before, or if you have, like me, and you just want a trip from WoW. I was like 6 when I was playing this the first time. Stuff like that. That's about it, I want to say. Sayonara Wild Hearts. I don't know if I mentioned that in a previous video. It's a rhythm game on the Switch. I think it might be on the PS4 as well. It's almost not really even a rhythm game. It's kind of weird. It's hard to describe. It's like a synth pop album with visuals that you play.
Of
If
course.
that makes sense. It is it has rhythm elements to it, but like it's not like strictly a rhythm game. So very visually striking. One of my favorite looking games that I played this year, and one of the best soundtracks I've heard this year too. Really great because the music's all original. I don't even think I turned Smash Brothers on this month.
That's why
So
I always start with Smash Bros. Because I play.
yep.
It'll be every month. I'll talk about Smash
Yeah,
Bros.
yeah,
I don't have anything new to add really. I'm just always practicing, trying to get better. I play with my main friend who's actually better than me, so I alternate between that, and then I play a bit with like here and there. I'll play with Idjits, who's in our Discord,
Oh, nice.
and I'll just play online too. I haven't been to a tournament since my first one though. Just haven't had the chance to go. I've been meaning to go regularly, but I just haven't. But it's still something that's always there. And
Yep.
then my brother and I are, for some reason, we've gotten into this thing of playing through all the Lego games.
Oh,
So
nice, nice.
we're up
Those games are
to
fun.
like the end of like last month. We finished Lego Star Wars 3, and then we were just playing through them
Clone Wars?
chronologically. Yeah, the
Is
Clone
that the
Wars.
Clone Wars? Yeah.
And then Lego Pirates of the Caribbean we finished in October. And then what's the next one? I think next one is Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7.
Ooh,
So
nice.
I've also been playing Tony Hawk's Underground 2 with my friend, which is a game that for some reason I love so much that I've gone back. I've played. This might be the game I've played through the most times out of any game. Like
Huh. Interesting.
I played through it all by myself in one sitting one time. It was like 12 hours. That's the only game I think I've ever done that with. And then like I have 3 or 4 different friends that I've played through, like just alternating, taking turns, play through with them. And
Mm.
it's always fun. And like a lot of people think it went downhill after Pro Skater, or at least like Pro Skater 3, but I personally really like the Underground games, and I think Underground 2 is my favorite because you have these interesting goals and stuff. Like obviously it's not like pure skating like it used to be. Like you have Bam Margera, is this was the era of that kind of
Viva la Bam.
Viva La Bam, and yeah, the same around the Jackass era too,
Yep.
because like
Yeah.
they even have like Steve-O as like a guest character in here. He's like riding
Freaking
it.
Steve-O.
He's riding a mechanical bull.
Hey, what's
So,
going on, guys?
but it's like that kind of thing. There's like literally the whole basis of the story mode is that you're gonna go around and like try to do like destructive stuff as you're scanning. It's a world destruction tour they called it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're like vandalizing and grinding on
Oh
things. And,
yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about stuff like that. Yeah, I never played the Underground games, but I remember hearing about that mode.
but it's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
I wish they would do another one like that, but we'll never get it. I just like having the goals to do.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then played some of like Super Monkey Ball 2. I was playing that with my friend, which
Cool.
I find are only really good in short bursts. I don't think they're like the best
Yeah.
games ever, but it's like if you have someone to play it with, it's a lot more enjoyable, especially the little party modes.
Yeah. Those are
I
they're fun little games. Yeah.
I mean, I played Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz with a friend as well. All in the same month, I played all these Monkey Ball games. But Banana Blitz is on the Wii, and it's like way worse than the GameCube ones.
Isn't
I
that the
don't know.
balance board? Do you have to use a balance board for that one, or is it the Wii remote?
There's an option, I think, to use the balance board, but you can use
Hmm.
the Wii remote, but it has to be motion controls. And it's kind of jank, but also it's like 90%. There's a million different party modes, and 90% of them, they're not even in a ball. It's like they'll just have like weird mini games where they're just the monkeys. So it's like it's not even
Now,
monkey ball anymore.
isn't that the one that is getting re-released?
Yeah, randomly
Or yeah,
with Sonic
I
in it.
without motion controls too.
Really, there's no motion
I'm
controls.
pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm
I'm
pretty
sure it'll
sure
be
it
an
is.
option.
Oh, I'm sure it will be an option. Yeah, gyro control or
Hopefully,
whatever.
but I don't know how much they're gonna carry over. Because if they just like make it higher resolution, then it's not gonna be great. You know, because
It's super random. I don't know why that one in particular.
the fundamentals aren't great. Like the tried and true like monkey ball mode where you're going down the courses, like that's just it's a really weak version of that the main mode. Because like a lot of them will have like rails along the side, so it's very hard to fall off. Even it's like they knew the motion controls were jank, so they couldn't have any precision actual like
You know,
courses.
maybe they I don't know. Maybe they added more. Maybe they took some of that
So I'm
away.
saying hopefully they change
Maybe.
that. Hopefully they change some of the bonus modes,
Yeah.
if anything,
I'll have to,
because otherwise it's not worth it.
yeah.
But there's that, and then lastly, the new Call of Duty I play.
Modern Warfare.
Modern
I've heard really good
Warfare.
stuff about it. Honestly, I've heard the campaign's really great.
I haven't played the campaign. I only played a little bit of the multiplayer with my friend because we played all the Call of Duties basically. And that's one of my weird things. Like I collect all the Harvest Moons. I also collect all the Call of Duties. So I just had to get this one. I'm pretty sure I have every console Call of Duty now. So that's a lot. I haven't even played. I never even played like World
Yeah, there's a
War
lot.
Two and Black Ops 4. I still haven't played those. I have them. But then I just got on this one when it came out. Wanted to play it within the first couple of days, and it's really good. I mean, it's a much different style. You can definitely see it's like a fresh start for them. But
Mm.
again, it's the weird thing where they like to name it the same thing, but it's like Call of Duty and Modern Warfare. So now you have Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and now Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So hopefully they'll make a sequel to that, because then it'll just be Modern Warfare 2 again.
They'll have some other subtitle probably.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who knows?
but it annoys me when they do stuff like that with the names. But Call of Duty I just always love for some reason. And that's it for video games, I guess.
Yeah,
How about television? Watch any good television?
I have. I have watched good
yes.
television. Yes. Much to your dismay, I started watching My Hero Academia,
Mhm.
or Academia, the Macadamia show. I started watching that this month, and I've already made it through the first season and a half, and I love it.
What episode are you on? Season 2.
They just finished the tournament basically just finished, so they're all doing their internships now.
Tournament arc
Um,
is awesome.
the tournament was fabulous. It was a
Yeah,
fantastic
I mean
arc, and I was actually
season 2 episode 10 is like one of my favorite episodes of anime ever. Just
yeah,
amazing.
super hype. That whole arc was really fun. And I was very excited that I was like, because I thought season 2 was ending. I didn't look forward on the because I'm watching it on Funimation now. I didn't look forward at
Yeah,
all, so I was like, oh, this season is still going, and
yeah.
so I get kind of excited about that. Yeah, so I love it. It's a super great, super fun show. And I will be purchasing merch, I'm sure, about that show because whenever I'm getting into a new show, I'm always gonna buy merch for it. So yeah,
I
I can.
haven't. What's
I
that?
oh, I was just gonna say I can see why it's as popular as it is. Like
Yeah.
I kind of already sort of like had an idea. I was like, well, it's like a heroes and superheroes are sort of big, but like it now that I'm seeing it as like all of it's clicking. I was like, it's it isn't just the fact that heroes are big, but it's like the story is really good, really nice and relatable. Character designs are all unique and interesting and fresh. Characters are well written, and the animation is pretty amazing for a TV show, and that because a lot of times anime has they skimp a little bit on some of the animation things just because budgetary time, all
Mm.
kinds of different concern. But Bones always does an amazing job with the properties that they handle, and they have really knocked it out of the park with MHA. So
Yeah, and they
yeah,
do just emotion really well, like pure emotional moments.
oh yeah,
Where it's like a lot of the times the action scenes might not be like the best if you look at them in terms of a fight. They might not be the best actual
mm,
fights. There are some good ones, but most of the time, like they'll take like a couple hits and just like draw it out with great emotional and like even like the whole Todoroki origin episode that I was talking
oh
about,
spectacular
and that's
episode of
just all
anime.
driven by cutting back between like backstory and interspersed within the episode, and it makes it a lot more powerful than if they were just fighting. It wouldn't look that great.
Yeah,
Um, they do that really well. And then I thought after season 2, it was like there's no way they can like, be that good. And season 3 is amazing too. So I
yeah,
haven't started watching season 4, even though I know it's already like 3 or 4 episodes in.
hmm
But I don't know. I want to get to it soon.
yeah,
Maybe we can talk about My Hero Academia at some point. I don't
yeah.
know
That'd be
in
good to
what
do a separate
capacity.
video. I don't know. No, I don't. You haven't seen the movie yet, have you?
Oh yeah, I haven't. That's
And
right.
I think it's supposed to take place in between seasons 2 and 3. I think I don't really remember exactly, but maybe 3 and 4. I don't
It's
remember.
actually
But
season 3, episode 20, I believe, something like that.
mm,
I believe it was after that. Yeah.
oh, okay.
So yeah, I haven't. I've been meaning to watch it for a while. I still haven't watched it. So maybe
Maybe
I
we
can
could
hold
do a
out
review
for
on.
that.
Yeah, yeah. We'll definitely be talking about that more in the future because yeah, I'm a big fan.
It's one of my
So
one of my favorite things.
so yeah, that's been great. Other than that, I haven't really been watching much in terms of TV. Not really. I like to watch Jeopardy a lot,
Oh,
so
nice.
that keep up on Jeopardy.
Other than the standard, I always like every week my family and I get together to watch. It's usually Survivor.
Hmm?
And then recently we've been watching The Office because I watched through The Office entirely with my mom like through this year, and then now we like when we get together with my brother to watch shows. Now we want to watch it with him, so we're like in the middle of season 3 now with him.
Mm,
So I mean that's always good, like it never gets old.
yeah.
So that's been cool. But I've also been watching a show called Police Squad. Which is what inspired the Naked Gun movies. I don't know if you've seen those.
Yeah, I've probably seen. I think I've seen part of one. I don't think I've ever watched a full one.
The Naked Gun is possibly my favorite movie of all time.
Wow,
It's my perfectly up my kind of comedy.
it's
Uh,
it's it's funny.
so there's that, but this is just a 6 episode series that kind of inspired the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel this is not nearly as good as the movies. They definitely refined it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But you can definitely see like the foundation of what it became. There's a lot of that kind of humor in there, and then there's even some of the same exact jokes that they took into the movies. You can see they completely changed the character that OJ ends up playing in the movie as well. It's completely different casting in the original show.
Yeah.
Which, of course, OJ, an amazing actor all around. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely say it's not necessary to watch. There's like one. The first episode is the best because that's when it's fresh, and then they kind of like recycle some of like same kinds of jokes throughout.
Yeah.
It's not as effective.
But it's a pretty short series, so.
Very short, yeah.
Yeah.
But I would recommend you go into the movies. You
Yeah.
definitely don't need this beforehand. The movies are great. The first one's the best for sure, but I still like the second and the third ones a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I do want to mention that I've been watching The Walking Dead.
Ooh, okay.
Because we talked about this before. What did we talk about this in?
I don't remember either. We may have talked about it off camera, maybe. I remember we could have talked about it in something.
No, we
though.
talked about it in something.
Okay.
But you were saying
I remember
how,
saying
yeah.
it kind of became zombified. Oh, probably during Haunting of Hill House.
Oh yeah.
Which
we were talking
is
about
another show we watched, and you should watch our review.
Yeah, it's so good. We were talking about how like the limited series tend to be better because you don't have to. It's not drawn out, and you're not, rewriting, changing things around. You can have one.
And you're not. You're allowing characters to change and grow because you don't have to. If you're drawing a series out, you don't want characters to change too quickly or drastically because you want people to keep tuning into the familiar, same kind of thing that they come to expect, essentially.
It's like, there's definitely elements of that in Walking Dead, and there was the moments through seasons 7, 8 particular were not great. There was a lot that even fans of The Walking Dead were not happy about with the different character decisions. And then even in season 9, and now in this season, they have like actors that are like trying to step away from the show, which of course contributes to that same thing where they have to like rewrite the story based on that. So it's going to take away from having just a strong storyline, but within that, like, they've been losing like actors just because it's like the show is so long, so people are like, I want to do other stuff.
Yeah.
But they still have managed to make it really good, and I think a lot of Walking Dead fans agree that season 9 really ramped it up again. It's like night and day between seasons 8 and 9. They also they had a new showrunner going into that season, so that definitely changed it a lot. And then season 10 has still been great. And yeah, I just think it's worth noting that it gets this a bad rap because most of the people that talk about The Walking Dead dipped out early on, or even around season 7 or 8, and then they never got to see what it turned into in the later seasons, which is definitely a much different show than the first few seasons were, especially in terms of tone and characters. But it's still definitely an awesome show. It's just a different direction, they've definitely improved on a lot of stuff fans have not been a fan of. And yeah, that's pretty much all the TV. So, cool. Any movies you've watched in October worth noting?
Other ones we've talked about on the channel. I mentioned in the last video that we just did, I've been watching, which you'd notice if you see my hat. I've been watching James Bond films.
Still getting through all these.
Oh, there's 24 of them so far. 25 of them so far. There's a lot of them. So we made it into the Roger Moore era. And I'm not the biggest fan of Roger Moore. There was a contemporary reviewer that compared him to like the most dangerous thing. It was something like Connery. You always had the sense of a clenched fist under the table, but Roger Moore's most deadly weapon is a raised eyebrow
Uh-huh. Okay.
because he just has a, like a goofy quip or like raised eyebrow reaction to like everything. It's just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
it has become more hokey and like corny and cheesy than it had ever been before. During the Connery years, I mean, there were some elements of some cheese, particularly with Diamonds Are Forever, which is like so campy and over the top. With Roger Moore, it's like they played up a lot of the aspects like so much more to the point where it's just like some of it is just like I don't want to say because I'm still being very entertained by watching them, but there's just like there's a sense of like they can't quite get there plot wise. They can't quite get to a point where it's the most engaging plot or an interesting thing. I think I will say I did actually really enjoy the plot of Live and Let Die, which is basically James Bond, the blaxploitation film.
Hmm. Oh.
A lot of elements from that blaxploitation era, but it really uses those elements like to a very surprisingly effective degree because it's very different from other James Bond plots. And to me, that was Roger Moore's first film as James Bond, and I enjoyed the film. I'm not crazy about him and his portrayal, but I think I liked the film a lot because it wasn't just another spy film. Like he wasn't dealing with a plot to destroy the world or take over the world or whatever. He was dealing with just dealing with drugs, basically. It's just about dealing with people trafficking drugs. And it was kind of like it felt a little more down to earth, which I kind of like really liked, surprisingly. Yeah. I really like that one. What was the next one? Man with the Golden Gun was not great. I didn't really understand Christopher Lee's is the bad guy in that movie, but I still to this point don't really understand his motivation for like anything he was doing. He was like an assassin, like, but he requested that all of his to kill somebody it's $1 million fee, but he could do it in one shot with his golden gun, which is a specially made gun that fires golden bullets. I still don't really understand what his motivation was or like why he was doing like he was also like trying to invest in like he got like some like space laser thing for some reason. I don't really understand why. The Bond girl in that movie was just so dumb, like painfully like I face palmed a lot while watching the movie because of just how stupid she was. What was next? I think next is The Spy Who Loved Me, and that's one of my favorite ones that we've watched so far. I actually genuinely loved that movie. Easily the best film I think that he's been in, at least that we've watched so far. And yeah, so October is looking pretty good. In terms of it's on the upswing with James Bond, but I know it was coming, and in November we will get to more stuff. But The Spy Who Loved Me is a great film. Really liked that one a lot. A lot of the elements from some of the earlier films came back. Some of the underwater stuff. There's a lot of underwater things going on in this movie, but it was just kind of a much more engaging plot. The Bond girl was written so much better. Yeah. Oh, and there's the opening scene is just really great. It's like an alpine ski chase, and it's just really entertaining. And it caps off with a super great moment where he pulls the parachute out, and it's the Union Jack. It's the British flag. And I read in the premiere of the movie in London, the entire audience was on their feet and applauding the Union Jack. You know, the good old British audience, and including Prince Charles was even in attendance, and he even stood up and clapped too. So
Of course.
the royal family does like these movies, which I always find very entertaining, particularly when they can get sometimes fairly saucy.
Well, I saw three movies basically. El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, which was
Oh, okay. Well, I
awesome.
can't see that.
Yeah, you can't see that, and mark my words, we will watch Breaking Bad on this channel because
Okay. Oh, all right.
it was like
I do need to get through it. I know.
within the last year, I discovered Breaking Bad, finally watched it, and finally seen the light. And then El Camino, I've heard even from a lot of Breaking Bad fans that it was just okay, but I wanted to do a video. I've kind of been on a hiatus from my main channel. I wanted to do a video talking about why it's great. It's not just okay. It's like the perfect way to do a follow up movie to a TV series. Like not just for like a money grab. So really well done. So hopefully, I don't know. It's gonna be a while before we'll be able to do it, but we need to definitely watch that on the channel. Other than that, Zombieland Double Tap, which was like 10 years in the making
Yeah.
since the first one,
Insane.
and honestly, I wasn't even that interested in it. Like the magic had worn off for me. I'm not really hyped to watch the Zombieland movie right now. But I watched it because my brother wanted to watch it mainly, so we all wanted to watch it, and it was just okay. Just like it was not necessary for me to watch. It was like it's neat to see something like that 10 years later, because there's a lot of callbacks to it, and
Hmm.
it's still amazing that I could understand all the references. Still having not rewatched it at all since then, but it was just okay. It was more or less the same movie again, just 10 years later with a little change, a couple characters here and there. Other than that, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My friend and I watched the
70s?
the 2003 version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just the one I had. We were like didn't
Okay.
have any movies to watch. It was like I don't know why I got it, who gave it to me, at what point. I've just had it, so I'm like let's watch this, and it's okay. It's okay. There was not even one moment in which I was actually scared, but it's all right.
I've
A
watched
lot of the fundamentals of like scary movies with like the big killer come from this movie,
the
especially the
slasher.
original. Yeah, Leatherface, just like a killer with no grace, just like busting through everything with a chainsaw, and like somehow superhuman strength can like keep up like super fast speed with like these perfectly athletic people running away from him, and he's like a huge guy hefting a chainsaw, and he always catches up to him and surprises him. It's just you know, and it's kind of like what inspired the Dead by Daylight, that
Mm.
game where there's like you. I didn't realize it pretty much seems like it was literally inspired from this because you put people up on hooks in that game, and
Yep.
that's like all
Well, they
Leatherface
did that in
does.
the original movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just my basis for
Yeah.
for
Yep.
Leatherface in general. But yeah, he loved putting hooks and stuff, and then of course a woman runs into a meat factory where there's just tons of hooks hanging, and she's like, and he's like,
All the
oh
hooks.
great, I
This
can
is
get on
easy for
this.
me.
And it's just a weird movie, but also the main actress in that, I forget what her name is, but
I
she's
don't know.
beautiful,
Oh, okay.
perhaps the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Wow. That's
Um, but you can tell like such purposeful shots where she's like perfectly lit, and she has like this exposed midriff, and she's
cool.
like the beautiful woman who, of course, is the center of all this massacre. So
Of course, as
uh,
what like there would be anything different.
it was wonderful. She made the movie worth it. All right, so that's it. I
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
always
I don't
mean
know.
to watch more horror things in October, but I never do.
Yeah, I
But
wanted to play horror games, and I just didn't really get around to. I will say, I didn't mention it because I've been playing it more now,
yeah.
but I did pick up and play on Halloween night Luigi's Mansion 3. So that was fun. That was a nice Halloween night. No one came trick or treating to my house, which was kind of like,
No one comes to my house because we live on the highway. So
yeah, that's kind of a problem.
yeah, I've always
We
wanted
live
to be able to give out like weird, like I wanted. My dream is to give out like ketchup packets. I wanted to give out.
just like
just,
the weird stuff,
just
like
like,
chips.
just like take a handful, just toss it in their bag. So you enjoy.
I was thinking like give them like sandwich bags of chips.
Okay.
You give kids that, or
Amiibos.
yeah, that would be no, that's no. Maybe Skylanders.
Give them like Tarqaron business cards.
Yeah, here we go. Hey, watch it. It's like a tract. It's like you're giving them like a chick tract,
Mm.
but it's a Tarkaron pamphlet.
All right, well that's it. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you for watching.
See us next month, and we'll do some more.